Hi everyone, welcome to the new video. So I got this comment from Senthil that please can talk about disaster recovery because it is being asked in the interviews, and yes, it's an important topic. So let's go and discuss about it. So disaster can happen, with a human error also, with an outage also. It can be some a disaster like some outage, some hardware failure, or some human error. Disaster can be anything. It can be some infrastructure failure, it can be some software failure, it can be a cloud failure, anything. So we should be always prepared for these disaster, so that with minimal downtime we are able to resume the services. When we talk about disaster recovery, there are two main points that we should always talk about. Those two points are RTO and RPO. RTO means recovery, okay, recovery time objective. RPO means recovery point objective. So, what are these two terms? And when you don't talk about these two terms, it means that you haven't worked on disaster recovery. So, whenever you are talking in interview about disaster recovery, these two terms you should mention. Recovery time objective means how you minimum time you can resume the services. That objective, we set our recovery time objective that we can resume the services in 1 hour, in half an hour, in 20 minutes, in 15 minutes. So our objective should be set that we should resume the services. Minimum downtime that we can suffer is 15 minutes. That's it. And it can be less in many domains. Whether it can be a banking domain, any, the minimum downtime should be less. And with this recovery time objective, we should plan that what kind of strategy we should follow for disaster recovery. Then comes recovery point objective. Recovery point objective means how much data loss we can prevent, the minimum data loss that we can prevent. Because even if we are taking backups, we can take backups of data in 5 minutes, in 1 hour, right? So suppose at 6 o'clock, at 6 a.m., let me not put it over here, but let me take another one. So suppose at 6 a.m., outage happened. Okay. So our backup was scheduled for every 1 hour. So now our backup was scheduled to run on 6 a.m., then 7 a.m., then 8 a.m. But at 6 a.m. only the outage happened. So the last backup of data that we have is till 5 a.m. Whatever last backup was taken at 5 a.m., that data we have, and now whatever data that we are losing, that got added, new data that got added between 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., that we lost because we don't have backup of it. The last backup was taken at 5 a.m. and at 6 a.m. it would have taken a backup again, but that got failed. Outage happened. So we lost the data which was present in that 1 hour. It can be a huge loss, right? So we should plan that okay, we can lose a data of this much time only. We cannot lose the data more than this time. So you have to take the average that in which frequency the data is coming, and how we should take the backups. Like it should be in 15 minutes, it should be in half an hour, or it can be 1 hour. So that depends on how much frequency the data is getting updated. So that should be as less as possible. Recovery point objective. So these both the things we should try to keep as less as possible. So I hope these 2 points are very clear to everyone of you. Now comes that, you know, what are the kind of strategies we have for disaster recovery? Okay, the strategies that we have for disaster recovery is backup and restore. The cheapest and the most time taken recovery. It is the cheapest one, no doubt, but it takes time. Unless and until our backup, our scripts are not ready and they're not working properly, we cannot assure that this strategy is a total success. So, to test that this strategy should work properly, we should have time to time disaster recovery drills. Why disaster recovery drills are being done? So that whatever scripts we are created for disaster recovery, like for taking backups, then restoring those backups, and then creating another infrastructure, everything should be tested in time. What happens in dr drill, they will try to imitate the situation, they will try to make the primary side down, okay, and they will try to, with script they will try to make the other side up with the scripts, and that should be as less as possible, and that should be checked that whether those scripts are working or not, because there are failures. Sometimes our script is not able to tolerate the data which we have in our databases, so sometimes it fails at database back recovery. So sometimes it fails in other which has many much data. Basically they can fail. Sometimes it's like some DNS error, some in switch over error. So many errors can happen. This can only be avoided if we do time to time dr drills and test our scripts for each and every environment that we can check. Second, we have pilot light. In this, what we do, we try to make our services, the critical services, always up and running, so that whenever disaster occur, we have to spin up only those services which are not up. Okay, this is sometime, of course people do, they don't turn on, like databases are always up and running, and their backups are always taken, so that the data loss is zero, and the snapshots are taken, they are kept in the artifactory, in the repository, the snapshots are kept. Third comes the warm standby. Warm standby means that we have kept our application up and running in a light mode, not very like the basic uh, access, basic functions we can do on that application. So that is up and running somewhere in another region, or somewhere it is up and running. So that is little bit expensive, but it's a light mode. Okay. Then we have a multi active sites or something. This is the most expensive one, because you have your environment up and running in multiple regions, so that if any outage happen in any region, you can use the other region. So this is the most expensive one, but minimal time, there is no downtime in it. because even though the other application is down, you always have the other applications running. Minimum no downtime. So that's why it's the most expensive one, but it's most safer one. Now, what happened? Suppose I'll give you a little example of a disaster recovery. That suppose we have few, um, we have one region in which we have our in AWS we have the region, and in that region the instance are running. Suppose that region gets what you say gets down. So now you have to, what you can do is your Terraform script should be ready, so that if even if the region is down, we can create the new environment in that another region. Just changing the region, we can create our infrastructure over there and we can use it. But this can, there are many risk with it. Okay, we have to do many changes. So to ensure that our script is supporting this, our Terraform script, we should be running that script to check whether that is working or not, and that script should be updated always, so that there is no drift, Terraform drift. So in generally, what in organizations what major things that we try to do is taking the snapshots, taking the backup of data, having those backup in some, in some repositories, in some mount points, so that we can always have the access of that data. Second thing is, having the script ready for creating the infrastructure and everything. Then we should have the script to, we should have the backup of our pipelines and everything, whatever we create. So we should have the Docker images in place, and always there should be prod, non-prod images separated, so that we can have, even if we have to create it, we can create it from there. We should have snapshots also in place, um, for our infrastructure that we can take. So that all we can try, and always have conduct the DR drill activity. We'll talk more about this, how, what kind of script should we have, and what kind of, how we can write scripts and everything, that we'll discuss in coming videos. But I hope the theory and main pointers are clear for to everyone related to disaster recovery. That's all for today's video. I hope it's helpful. Please let me know your views in the comment section. Before ending this video, I would like to mention about Bhanu Pratap Singh. He today commented that he has got 6 offers, and he has joined a company. So wish him all the best for his new journey, for his new company, and congratulations, because getting 6 offers is not easy at all. Behind these offers there must be sleepless night, so courage, patience, and consistency, so much is required. I can feel it, and everybody can feel it, that getting 6 offers is not easy. So kudos and to your hard work. Keep working and shining like this. So yeah, that's all. Bye, take care.